Let's kick it off. I'm Steve, and I'm joined by Ash and Uz, and it's 2026, so we have a new year ahead of us. But first of all, we have to talk about Manchester United Wolves, which was still as part of 2025. There's a lot of 2025 I'd rather forget, to be honest, but we have to start by talking about that game. And for once, I think I'll kick off with my emotions from that game. And guys, it's so heart-wrenching to see how bad we are. Not just the performance, I've talked about this since we started this pod. It's the club from top to bottom to me. Like, what we're seeing on the pitch is a result of years of mismanagement, right? We can't put it all on Ruben. We can't even put it all on Ineos. This is a culmination of years and years and years of incompetence, right? Incompetence is the word for it. Just the strategy of the club, everything that's been done. We've talked about it for many years now. Just pre-recording, we were talking about the Fergie years, which is now 13 years ago. We've seen this for a long time. So for me, I'm just so sick of it. Like, the big thing for me, I think now the standards of the fan base have eroded over those 12 years as well, because we've got used to it. It's natural. We're not a winning club anymore in terms of Premier League trophies. Back in the day, in your heyday, if you'd finish second, it's a disaster, right? You need to win the league the next season. So the standards have dropped. And for me, I'm just so sick of it. I feel so disconnected to the club. So yeah, I just get that off my chest. But the absolute fucked up thing is I'm going to Leeds away on Sunday.
Football, United, the greatest drug ever.
Why, have you become a Leeds fan now, Steve?
Yeah.
No,
what's going on?
Because I picked up a couple of tickets in the return. I picked up a couple of tickets in the return, and I thought it's a bucket list thing to go Leeds away. It's an hour down the road. It's 30 quid. I've got to go, right? Because I'm not so disconnected with the club where I want them to lose. I still want us to do well. I'm still a fan. So that's how conflicted I am with it. I'm so disillusioned by everything going on, but I still support the club ultimately, right? I'm still doing this podcast. So
football, man, it's the greatest sport in the world for a reason. It takes logic out of it.
So that's where I am with it. We're not switching to F1 in 26 then?
No, we're still locked in.
Still doing this podcast.
Look, I've got my San Sebastian mug here because we went to watch United in a European final in 2025. As shit as it was results-wise, it still gives us moments. It gave us the Anfield moment. It gave us the Harry Maguire moment against Lyon, probably one of the greatest European nights at Old Trafford we discussed, right? 2025 gave us that amongst the absolute worst Premier League position ever. So I just we can talk about Wolves if you want.
Actually, a good question, right? Would you rather be a Manchester United fan, right? Or a fan of most of the other clubs?
Brentford or Bournemouth.
Right, Brentford, Bournemouth, whoever. Obviously, our friend of the pod, Kieran Maguire's a Brighton fan.
Yeah.
If they're doing really well, they're probably at the highest level that they've been in their history. But when you would you swap?
It's not the same. It's not the same as United. It's not the same drug as United. That's the thing.
Yeah, we got,
we still make all the headlines.
It's not Class A football, but it's Class A narcotics, right?
That's what it is. That's true. That is true.
That's another relation to the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, Ash, what have you got to say about that game? Are you looking at that game in isolation, or are you just looking at the big picture like I am?
To be honest, you guys know, I kind of said this in February last year, right? Like, when you asked me that question, would you change the manager? I was the first one to go on it. So it's not that much different.
No, but question, right? So just changing the manager.
Wait a minute. Don't you think the manager's actually done given what Steve's introduction, he's talking about the years and years of mismanagement, that if you look at the team that we put out in the Newcastle game and in this game, is there anyone, maybe Cunha you can say is a good player, right? And he was only bought 6 months ago. The rest of them, most of them are average, right? Hasn't Ruben done if we look at the league table now, given
if you look at the league table,
then sixth with 30 points.
If you look at the league table, it's fine, as in it's meh, right? It's you're par whatever, but
that's what I talk about.
It's
the drop in standards, though, right?
No, but it's boring football. It's shit football.
Yeah.
We can't score goals against low block teams. He's proved over nearly 18 months he can't do it. He can get results definitely against good opposition, especially away from home. I mean, look at the 4 games at Old Trafford. When if we had racked up some decent points, as we would be 4th or maybe even like on the tailcoats of 3rd. Like if we racked up
Yeah,
decent
but
points.
we're not good enough to rack up those
That's
points.
the point,
and
though,
without
right?
without Bruno Fernandes, this team has no creativity.
Yeah, but it's
How are
under.
you can
it's
talk
under-
about Ruben doesn't know this or that, but who's there to create the
Yeah,
goals
but
without
that's
Bruno?
the transfer window. I'm sorry. Like
This is what Steve said.
You spent.
That's what
you
I'm
spent
saying.
That's what-
160 million on 2 number 10s. I'm sorry. Like,
But
there
this is
should
the
have been
point,
a
right? So,
pot
like,
for a central midfielder.
so changing the manager, like, you know, is a hot debate, obviously, within the fan base at the moment.
Is
And
it?
yes,
Is
as
it,
in,
Steve?
like, you know, I think the Wolves game has tipped it back over to icy
I think
majority.
the booing is, equally for the players as it is for the manager.
Yeah, I think it's
don't
the
think
club as a whole.
Yeah.
I think it's the club as a whole, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think this is like the Old Trafford fan base being Ruben out. They're just sick and tired of just, like you said, Steve, almost everything. It's a, I don't know what, it's a rallying cry almost. Just like, come on, the whole club wake up, all right? And yeah, January's very interesting because the window's open and we need players. I'm sorry, we do. I don't know how
Yeah.
we're going to do it, but we need players. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
saying we
think-
need to spend 65 million on Semenyo. We just need some like decent loans. Like we need bodies and like good bodies, right? Not like this whole nonsense of like, oh, if we don't have a striker, Igalo's fine because it's better than not having a striker. It's like we need some players, like because
But this
he's not going to be able to do it.
This is what I agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. Is it the manager? Or is it what Steve says
It's both.
that there's a lack of quality with, especially Bruno Fernandes? I keep saying is just the best player in this team by miles, right? I'd say the second best player in this team is Mbumo, and he's in AFCON.
Yeah,
You've
but
lost
Cunha
Ahmad to
hasn't-
AFCON.
Has
You're
not
two-
stepped up.
Cunha hasn't stepped up, but
3 goals in the Premier League. I looked at the stats. I think there were stats to prove that also he overperformed last season. But even in his first full season at Wolves, he got like 12 league goals. I checked FPL for that.
no, I agree.
And
He
he's only
hasn't, he hasn't stepped up. But my question to you is his not? It isn't of all the sort of, you talk about the system and the manager. Probably the system suits Acuna, and it's actually his individual performances where he, at those moments, in the clutch moments, hasn't put the ball away. Is that a manager issue to you?
Yeah, because I saw the signs earlier than everyone else, and even though there's been improvements and like it's the output is like the league position's better, like you can argue obviously goals is better. But I know where this is going. Even in like 2 years' time, like you can have Elliot Anderson, you can have Adam Wharton. We're not going to compete for the title with Ruben. This league is too hard for him. Like it would have been better. I was thinking about this even like before he joined the club. It would have been nice actually if he was at West Ham, got all of like the learnings of the Premier League, then get him. It was the same with Ten Hag actually. It's like I would have liked to have seen him at Bayern Munich, manage a big club, then come to United. He's doing all his learnings at United. You can't do it. There's too much pressure.
One thing I would say, because we discussed this in the last Wolves game, I think, Steve, you asked the question, is the worst team the Premier League's ever seen? And I was quite firm. No, I've seen a load of
Come
junk.
on, now.
No, honestly. So I want to put this into context. We lost to Wolves and we drew with Wolves.
Yeah,
Drew with Wolves, and it
felt
was
like we lost.
and it was a fair result. It was like we didn't deserve any more than that. But also, Wolves, Liverpool, like under a lot of pressure, and Liverpool only won 2-1. That's at Anfield. And Arsenal needed a 94th minute goal at the Emirates to beat Wolves. So this is not the worst team that the league has ever seen, right?
It's
The
one
league
of the
is-
worst in this
Statistically.
season. No,
Statistically.
this season it's the worst team. Like the
No,
As part of the bunch.
no. I'm saying that look, they're the two gun teams. Every one, maybe City as well. 1, 2, and 3. Right. The Premier League is really tough. Our squad is in such a position where in football, if you're 50-50, results can go either way. We've just got to expect this. On a positive note, we beat Newcastle, who are supposedly the top 5 team, 1-0. And I thought it shows there's fight in that team. The team that ended the game, I don't know, ridiculous, right? And some of these young kids, like in heaven, he's really like I mentioned the attackers we're missing. We're missing Maguire and De Ligt, who I rate very highly, as you know. I think they're really top players. Aiden Heaven stepped up really well. I've been so impressed. So cool, so calm. Dealt with a lot. Some of these young players, I mean, Fletcher's kid's been
Yeah,
playing a
they're
lot
so
more.
young. Like,
They're
yeah,
so young.
I'm
you
not
can't expect much
blaming
out
the
of them.
kids for this. This is the point, right? It's like the manager had an opportunity to play a system that he's been coaching for the last couple of weeks. He's actually got not just some decent results, some decent performances, like the Bournemouth game, like the Newcastle game. And then he goes back to, you know, I think the quote from the press conference afterwards is to match Wolves. You don't need to. I'm not saying we're going to blow them away playing a back four, but you needed a result against the worst team in the league. And actually, it would have been a nice feeling as well to, go into the new year with a win and also almost like probably outright fourth. And, he dropped the ball on it. I'm sorry, he did. It's like the Europa final all over again. Like these crucial moments when just we're on the verge of being able to get into the top four or go into the next round of the cup, we don't win those games. And that's under him.
Do you know what it is though? Like, it's even when we do win, it's just not United. Like this style of play, just everything about it is not Man United.
Haven't we been? No, I would say, haven't we been way
The only
better?
thing is the fight.
Last season was a joke, right? But this season, the
We've improved.
The fight's been more, but also we're attacking. You know, the whole thing with Bruno in midfield and Ahmad at wing back has seen a lot more of that. We attack a lot more than last season, where it was just like you're playing a back five. It doesn't make any sense. Like defensively, we know Bruno in midfield. You're leaving gaps in midfield. But at least he's getting forward a lot. This, like him missing, basically, we're a one-man team. We know we're a one-man team. We've been a one-man team for a while. But he's been producing, Bruno Fernandes,
he has.
from midfield.
And it's improved versus last year.
Yeah.
If you compare to last year.
The Bournemouth game was one of the best attacking performances I've seen for a United team for years.
I know, but we conceded 4 goals, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying, because
I know.
But look at our best defenders are out at the moment. And we got Casemiro as the main
it's true.
Midfielder.
This is all true about injuries.
He needs
this
a
is all
proper.
true.
We were still conceding goals with De Ligt and Maguire. Look, that's not me saying, "Oh, we don't need them."
No, we're going to.
We were conceding anyway.
With Bruno in midfield, you're going to concede goals. You're basically making a trade-off to say, look, I'm willing to be open in midfield, but my attack will be better.
Yeah,
I think the attack this season has been better. It just hasn't. You know what it hasn't done? It hasn't delivered the crucial. Like for example, if Dorgu was 1 yard behind and we win the game, this would be a different conversation.
No, I think it's more bigger than that, right? For example, if Šeško can stick his chances away, this is what I'm saying. If Cunha,
I agree.
Such an interesting player, Cunha. Because I really like his style. He's an excellent dribbler. He does work hard, but I've noticed in the last few games, he's a very excitable touches and it drags the ball away and therefore it gives the opposition a chance to nick the ball off him, and his finishing has just simply not been good enough this season. I was talking about it a couple of months ago and I was willing to be like, okay, let's get through the Christmas period. I mean, Steve, we've had 5 games at Old Trafford, right, of which was Everton, West Ham, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Wolves. How many points have we picked up? Maybe 5?
4 or 5,
yeah. It's just not good enough. I'm sorry, 15
and
points.
I think that's the thing as well with the fans, right, that are going. All these Monday night fixtures at 8 p.m, they're having to work most of those days, go to Old Trafford, and it's just not enjoyable. And this is why the fans are booing as well. They're not enjoying the football. We're not enjoying the football, if we're being totally honest. Yes, you can look to last season and say it's an improvement, obviously, because we finished 15th. Of course it is, unless, we're getting even worse. But I just think there's a thing with football fans and the manager and the club. You need a connection, and the connection for me is eroded between all the stakeholders, and we're just plodding along here. This is all that's happening, and I will pull it back now to talk about. I don't think
we're plodding. You know what it is? It feels like just a bit of. It feels messy. It doesn't feel. There seems like a lot of tension. The fight is still there.
There's a bit of fight on the pitch. I can accept that,
but there's no quality.
Steve, can I just mention something very quickly? Because you talked about it maybe a couple pods ago. You used the word grit, which is actually one of Sir Jim's favourite words. When you mentioned it, I was like, it's marginal grit, as in like it's better than last season, right? And this is the problem. We're judging everything off a really shit standard from last season. However, just very quickly on the Newcastle game, for me, there was 2 points I mentioned in previous pods with you guys. That is grit, right? Because we actually got the result, and this is a results business. So you need to do that. And also that's the point I think I mentioned with us, is that we need to see a few more clean sheets, right? And there was a foundation there to go on, even if it's only for like a couple games, because as is right, this is going to happen throughout the whole season. And we dropped the ball against the worst team in the league.
Yeah, but it was another set piece, and we know without, like I say, without De Ligt Maguire, it's a problem.
But we need to score more in that scenario. As we need to score more goals, like
we do. But again,
you know,
like if you look at the players, that's what one thing I would definitely agree. I don't understand his subs. I don't know why he took Xerxes off.
Even the Newcastle game.
Newcastle game,
weird
he
bizarre
wasn't
subs.
injured. It was tactical.
It's
that.
tactical, and it just I'm like,
he's
wait,
not helping himself.
He's not helping
and that's
himself.
my point. I just feel like I've obviously felt this for a long time. It's like he just when you need almost like that managerial inspiration to happen in the Premier League anyway, it doesn't happen enough.
Yeah, I think you can look to positives this season, like even on paper on the stats when you compare to last season. You can look at the league table and say we're sixth, right? We're level on points with Chelsea. And interestingly, today, Maresca has parted company with Chelsea. And I read the club statement and it talks about Chelsea getting back on track. So I actually asked our community, what does that mean, back on track? Because this again comes back to standards, right? What are your standards as a club? Chelsea have been used to winning all the big trophies over the last 15, 20 years, actually, going back to Jose in 2005. So it comes back to standards. Their standards are clearly higher and they expect more, which, to me looks slightly delusional.
And they've spent a lot of money.
They've spent a lot of money. That's true.
Yeah.
They've spent a lot of money, but we know it's the younger profile. So any football fan would say, you need to give them time and patience. But, they want to be up there even more so.
Younger profile, but Cole Palmer is already a top player, right? Caicedo's a top player. Enzo Fernandes, Reece James. Like, one thing that was a bit weird is some of the sales. So they lost Madueke and Jackson, who were good last season. The business model means is you can't build relationships because you're
like
selling
a trading
some guy.
firm, aren't they?
It's weird, yeah. But they've spent a lot of money, and I can understand why the ownership, given the level of form. Just to be clear, right, what we're talking about is we've just been panning Manchester United, who, are pulling out a bunch of youngsters. I'm praising Aiden Heaven, for example. Chelsea and Man United both have 30 points, right?
Yeah, we're level on points.
That just tells you how bad Chelsea must have been.
Possibly, yeah. It's just a weird league season, isn't it? Like that middle crop is
They bought João Pedro, Delap. They got Palmer. They got Caicedo. They've got lots of really good players. A much better squad than ours in terms of names. So you'd expect Chelsea. I expected Chelsea. I said the top four, say fourth.
I mean, the thing is, like, friend of the pod, Scott, made this point. It's like, look, particularly me and Az, we did say Europe via seventh, I think it was. Look, we're fine for that, okay? The pathway, I don't know about, but we're fine for that at the moment. We are on course for that. But if you look at Aston Villa as an example, right, they were nowhere after 5 games. You put 3 wins together in this league because of how competitive it is, you'll go flying up the table. And we've missed a really good opportunity with the home games that we had to just, be almost like to have Ruben more safe in the job, Steve, in terms of like, this like outward pressure and like the tension that everyone talks about. There was an opportunity to like almost like,
It's a great league. Like the middle of the league it's so competitive. Like I said, Wolves took Arsenal and Liverpool to the limit. You'd say worst Liverpool team. This is the champions who have added.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
400 million or something in signing, so they're not a bad squad.
But historically, right, with everything that's happening with.
And the other thing that why I'm more positive is underlying numbers again, boring statistics. Aston Villa have just been lucky. They've won a lot of games 1-0 they shouldn't have won. Or by 1 goal that they shouldn't have won.
Substitutes, though. This is the point.
No. It's just football. Football. If you who said they got Ian Graham's book in our
me.
if you'll read Ian Graham's book, you'll get to it, and he'll talk to you about that football is a marginal game that, with a bit of luck here and there, the points can turn because football is very low scoring, and if you're in a 50-50, it can go at one goal here or there, right? And that's why he mentions how, for example, they analyse the numbers of Jurgen Klopp's last season at Dortmund, and I think they were like 14th or something. He said, but we looked at the numbers and they weren't the 14th. They were actually quite good, and it will come back to you. We are in the top 4 teams in terms of those underlying numbers, and Villa are somewhere like in the second half of the table. We just need to some of these moments. We need the ball to go in. We need a bit of luck. We need to, just.
But that's what Ash talks about. The moments don't fall our way.
They
for
haven't
Ruben.
fallen our way. Yeah.
There is an element of luck in there as well, and we've all said on this we don't seem to have the luck. And even going back to Bilbao, like that was a pivotal moment. I'll use
so as an example in Bilbao, right? The Hoyland chance, and he clears it off the line. Van der Ven.
Yeah, if that
Same
goes
thing
in.
with Wolves. That goalkeeper mistake. I'm like, that's in. How did he claw that back?
Yeah,
I just was like, why does these things happen? And then, like I said, the Dorgu one, I was like, yes, that is a great goal, and he's just marginally offside. That goes in, you win 2-1, just like Liverpool and Arsenal won 2-1 in the death type thing. You walk away and you go, right, the 32 points are in the top 4, and this podcast is like completely different.
These pivotal moments, and even if you go back to the treble season, right, and Bayern Munich should have won that European Cup, but they didn't, and United won the treble, and that's etched in history now. These moments are so crucial in terms of the way they fall, and I will go back to that Bilbao game again, because if we'd have won that, got in the Champions League, had more money, got a few extra players, like the trajectory of the club completely changes, right? Like versus losing. And yes, we are on track technically. Like we have said, Europa League is on track this season. We are like statistically there. We're there in the league table. But I think like I said, fans know whether a project is going somewhere, and I think most of the fan base know deep down this will last the season. I think for sure, but I think beyond that, I don't think.
But we always had that, right, Steve? You and me. We were this is probably going to last the season, but come the summer.
Yeah,
I've always said I want to stick with Ruben because I don't like the options you're providing me.
Yeah,
but
same.
Come the summer, Carlo, my man, who I've started the Gareth Southgate book. I always say Southgate because it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
but there will be other names. Thomas Tuchel, who I personally wouldn't.
Have you seen my shortlist that I've put together? My top 5. Yeah, I'll.
Is this an official one?
This is mine. I've gone early. I decided it after Wolves on that night.
What did you say about Thomas Tuchel?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't go for Tuchel. It's the same reason I've mentioned before. So I agree with Steve. For me, it's the cancers at the top, and it's a rebuild and we should do a pod on all the hirings Ineos have done. I think the most important thing I'm looking for is good recruitment. And I think Thomas Tuchel's a tactically brilliant coach and far superior to Ruben. But if you see his history of clashing with the board on transfers, looking for older players, that's not the direction I'd go for. So I'd go for Tuchel if you wanted to try and win games short term, like a Conte. But I'm looking for the next manager to be someone who works with the board, works with recruitment.
Carlo's number one on my list.
I love Carlo.
He's number one on my list.
Well, so if
and again, I think Tuchel's a superior tactical coach to Carlo, but Carlo's skill is working with the top, working in the club, working with the youth system, culture building. And that's what I want to see.
If it wasn't Gareth Southgate, because I'm kind of confused now where you stand with him, but like if it's not Southgate, give me another name like of that ilk.
Not
an Ancelotti. I'm talking like that next level down.
Let me read out my top 5 shortlist. Right,
Steve, tell us your list.
So number one is
this in order?
This is in order. So my number 1 target is Carlo. Number 2 is Thomas Tuchel. Assuming England win the World Cup or not, I would get him in.
What if he doesnn't win the World Cup?
I'd still get him in just for a couple of years of just like trying to compete with good tactics, because there's so much that needs fixing at the club, which we can touch on. Number 3 is Southgate. He's number 3 on my list.
I tell you what,
for the
reset.
This
list is looking good.
Number 4 is Glasner.
Okay,
Glasner,
because he's available. I quite like him. He's he's experienced, and he's done well in the Premier League.
A couple of weeks ago when we spoke about him.
I put him in. I've not got Iriola in your man. And number 5, of course, is my guy Poch.
For God's sake, move
Wow.
on.
Number
The
5
tree.
on the list.
The
That's my
barbecues will be excellent.
Yeah.
the reason they're so different in, like, you know, you could say I've got Southgate next to Tuchel, completely different managers. I've always said a manager at the club is to do with fit. There's 100 or 50 managers you could probably say are qualified based on a CV or their previous work, but it comes down to fit with the club for me, and that's who I see as like good, probably short-term fits. I don't see any of them as like probably like long-term managers.
One interesting thing about your top 2, you need one hell of a transfer budget.
Yeah.
And that's
So
why I
think-
don't think
I
they would do it.
disagree. I disagree. I think Carlo Ancelotti, I don't rate him as a tactical coach, but he's a guy that will work with whatever's given.
He
that
worked
would
at
Not
Everton.
true. Apparently, before Everton, he had like loose talks with United, and he said like, I need a lot of money invested in the squad. I don't know if that was
Every
Ineos time.
No, this is the thing. If you, let's say you come to an interview with United and they say, I want you to win the league, then I'd say, I need a lot of money invested in the squad. Depends on the expectation. If they say, right, we want to try and compete for the top 4 and this is your budget, Carlo, would you take the job? I think it's just, there was someone you said in the community that says we can't attract the big talents anymore. I don't know who that was, so I don't follow the
AJ.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, AJ.
Just to you, AJ, yes, we can. And I think someone like Carlo would love to come to United. Why did he went to Brazil? Great club. He's done Real Madrid, right?
No, he would take the job. Like, I'm not saying
He's
that.
done Bayern Munich. I think he would take the job. And even if we don't have unlimited budget, just the glamour of as long as he it's like, Carlo, we just want you to take
top 4 probably.
to take this club back into the Champions
Top 3.
League.
Yeah.
Back into the Champions League. That's where we need
Carlo's
to be.
fine for that because he's cool and, you know, he tends to get on with the board, or like, you know, he's able to like have good relationship. Tuchel is a ticking time bomb.
That's why I said not to. What do you think about
Yes.
Tuchel, Ash? I mean, Steve's got him number 2. That's silver medal position.
The thing is, like, obviously, there's obviously a decent amount of managers I would take over Ruben. But if I go back to what I said, I think 2 years ago when Ten Hag was under pressure, he wouldn't be my top pick. But basically, because it was so bad with Ten Hag, I would take him. But I'm already planning for 2 years' time or 18 months' time because he doesn't last longer than 2 years top.
This is what we need. Like, we're not set up as a club to put in an Iriola type manager that's done a good job at a mid-table club, because the club structurally is not set up well. That's why you need a short-term manager, and this was always my concern with Ruben.
Tuchel's going to tear out the remaining hair he has, like, with that squad,
which is probably a good thing. Like, as in, and with the board as well.
He
Yeah,
will
we
want
need
Harry
those.
Kane as an example,
Which is good. It's good.
He
I, as a
don't mi-
fan,
He won't
don't
deal
mind-
with Šeško.
I don't mind him winning Harry Kane because Harry Kane's world class, but it's when he went for the Eric Dyer or the João Paulinho. It's like, come on, you don't need to spend money.
Yeah, but
or
as you
these
keep
average
doing this,
players.
right? When you're like, you know, when with Pochettino versus Ten Hag, you're like, I want the high ceiling football, right? So you got it, right? And you were the one who actually wanted Ten Hag out the most. You're saying, like, is an example like, oh, João Paulinho, he's boring, he's not a United player. He would really help this team at the moment, and we could be more points on the board.
I disagree. I don't think he's any better
Yeah.
than Casemiro.
No,
He's
but he
not.
might be playing with Casemiro, shoring it up, and
That'd be
Bruno could be
horrible,
playing
though.
further up.
He can't pass the ball forward.
Yeah, but
No,
he's better than
we need a
Ugarte.
manager.
He's a clean-up player, right? I'm not saying, like, you know, Paulina's the best thing ever, but you keep doing this where it's like, you know, like, there's no better options than Ruben. Like, really? Like,
No.
Ruben,
Right now, no,
is he that good?
because I like Steve's approach, and we've had this approach, is that are there better managers? If I could put someone in place now who's better than Ruben, yeah, probably could. Not much of an incremental. But could I put someone significantly better in the summer? Yes, and I like your list, Steve. And if you look at your list there, Steve, go through those names, right? Number 1, not available now, available in the summer. Number 2, not available now, available in the summer. Number 3, you could probably get now, but
Yeah,
you've
you
got
could,
1 and
yeah.
2, right? Wouldn't you wait
Yeah,
for 1
exactly.
and 2 to
I
see if
would,
1 and
yeah.
2? There you go. So I like this approach.
so
Good
like,
list.
I mean,
And number 4 as well, probably available in the summer. Glasner.
Yeah,
Who was number 5 again? Poch also.
just for fun.
No, for fun, but not available now. He's got the US job available.
Yeah.
So you've got 4 out of 5 names there available in the summer, and that's why I think you've got the right approach to say, actually, we've had an improvement. Underlying numbers look good. Luck hasn't gone our way. Fight is still there, so the players are still playing for Ruben. Ride it out to the summer, and I think you can look at a significant upgrade.
This podcast is sponsored by Go Play Sports, the brand new mobile app changing the game for grassroots. Whether it's Sunday League or five-a-side, Go Play Sports makes it easy to track attendance, manage teams and cut out the manual admin. No more endless group chats, no more chasing payments, just turn up and play. Go Play Sports. Download now from your app store.
Can we just very quickly touch on Ineos, because I have to, because it's the New Year pod, and it's 2 years officially on Christmas Eve, right? They've been in charge.
Yeah.
So, will you please just admit that football-wise, it's been a disaster under Ineos? Just the way it's unfolded, as in, when you compare to when they came in to now, will you admit that it's not gone well? And not just the football, the culture at the club as well.
I would say my opinion of Ineos's time is it's net positive. Shockingly, I do think it's net positive. I think the changes they are... I saw the club, as you know, on a huge downward spiral to oblivion under the Glazers. And I was telling you that, you know, our finances are an absolute shit show and there's some massive problem coming. I think we've got worse, but the trajectory was down. And then you have to keep getting worse until you get better. You have to make changes. I see the down slip when they took over and where Ten Hag was. You know how much angry I was at the football, the culture then, the recruitment was just, for me, just corruption and a joke, right? Like what was going on. I think the recruitment people have been put in is better. That we've hired good people. That will take time to come to fruition.
Fired good people.
Probably have fired good people, but cut down on.
Can we admit
that was a reference
mistake?
to Dan Ashworth?
Can we admit firing Ashworth?
They've
was a
made
mistake?
many mistakes. So, for example, giving Ten Hag another contract was a blunder. That was ridiculous. Firing Ashworth was a blunder. Many mistakes have been made. So, like on the negative, there's a long list. But what I'm saying is that for me, it's a net positive.
Versus the Glazers again, right? This is the key. Is in comparison to the previous.
Yeah, and I think that the club, it's a 5-year plan, and you can say, like, for example, like, you know, nothing's happened with the stadium. At least they're looking at the stadium. Glazers didn't even look at the stadium.
Yeah, but I'm looking on the pitch.
We've got a new training ground. Oh yeah, and on the pitch, I was like, look, this squad needs a rebuild, and I've just mentioned Aidan Heaven. This is the type of signing I've been calling out for. Go and pluck out some guy for £1 million. He looks really good, right? So they're investing more in youth players, younger players. We've seen some players step up as well. Like Ahmad under Ten Hag was nowhere, and he's come out. He's done really well. We've seen some better.
That's not under
signings.
Ineos. Ahmad was bought way before then, right? And he
was
had
bought
about
way before Ineos, but nothing was happening.
5 loans before, like, you know, he's
but
become...
it was. I'm saying there was. There's always this thing of keep hearing the same thing. Oh, but which players have got better? I'm like, well, a lot of them have got better. Even Casemiro I just mentioned, he was just looked trash, and now he looks semi-decent.
Yeah, but Ruben made him trash, and then, you know, that's what I'm actually giving credit to Casemiro.
He was on the bench in the FA Cup final under Ten Hag because he was done. Right, Jamie Carragher said, "Go and retire in Saudi."
Yeah, but
but
Ruben dropped him as well, right? Casemiro's wife
and
was out on Instagram.
Yeah, but he's rebuilt
No, he
him.
hasn't rebuilt him. Like, Casemiro has stepped up. This is what I mean. Normally, I'm one for criticising players.
Whatever has happened, Casemiro is now.
But that's not Ineos.
Like function.
This is.
Can I take
some of this?
Okay, but Steve has asked about the football. So, what do you want me to talk about?
But
the
under
football on the pitch, or...
under Ineos.
Let me talk about the football.
So the football on the pitch, the underlying numbers. Under Ten Hag, second season where we finished 8th, we were actually like 15th or whatever in the league. Underlying numbers, we were pure luck. It was pure vibes. It was like
Scott
randomness.
McTominay.
Which is why he was going to get sacked pre FA Cup final.
Exactly, because it was a joke. Right. So what I'm saying is the club, although still has gone on a downward trajectory, is rebuilding slowly. I think the recruitment has looked a bit still not elite recruitment, but it's 7 out of 10 recruitment.
No,
if you
it's
look
not
at
7. Come on. Spending 80 million on Brian and Mbumo, like, you know, Rafi, who's 1.5, could do that. Like, that's not smart.
Firstly,
Le Mans is probably
what
the best
currency
signing.
is your 80 million in? What currency is your 80
I
million
don't care, as
Was
like
it dollars?
it's Brian
It's
and
'cause it's not
Mbumo. It's Brian and Mbumo. Like he
proven Premier League
but he wasn't.
player at
He wasn't
25.
80 million at the beginning of that window, right?
It doesn't matter.
It was 60 odd. You were like no more than 60 million. We spent 20
100%.
million over. So don't say that's a 7
You
out of
made
10
up
or
80
higher.
million. How much was it? Steve, how much was in Boomer? Was it 80 million? I don't remember that. We
Remember the
spent
exact
too
fee.
much on him, but you've just made a number up.
So what is it then?
What?
You're
But
going to be like 75
why are you
plus
doing that,
5.
right? Let me tell you.
No,
Let me
so
tell
we've
you about
spent
results.
too much money, but at least we've.
Let me tell you about results.
Here's a
right?
question for you,
It's like
Steve. Do you think the
buying good
recruitment's been
paint and
better,
being like we
Better
were
or worse?
better
So
or worse
recruitment
under
better or
Ineos?
worse? Marginally better. Let me
Right,
tell
there
you
you
about
go, net
results.
positive.
Let
So
me
you're
tell you
saying
about
net
results.
positive.
Let me tell you about results. Let me
That's
tell you
just
about
like
results.
gotcha stuff. Like
Right. So look,
yeah.
let's quickly rewind. Right. So Moyes will forget about was a disaster, but 7th was deemed total failure and was sacked. Next manager, Van Gaal, got us top 5, won us an FA Cup. So again, deemed not good enough, sacked. Jose delivered 6, I think, in his first season, won the Europa League final, won the Carling Cup, won trophies, got us into the Champions League, finished second, and then it all unravelled and he got sacked. Ollie came in, saved that season, obviously, when Jose got sacked. Done well, got 2 top 3 finishes, I want to say. Done well, and still deemed not good enough, sacked.
Yeah.
Ten Hag, first season, top 3, wins the Carling Cup, and then second season, it all unravels, like you said, underlying data's bottom half of the table, flukes the FA Cup, we have a great day out at Wembley, we get overexcited, we contract, sacked, right? Now, the expectation of our fan base and the club as a whole, we finished 15th, had the disaster season, the worst club ever, the worst finish ever in the history of Manchester United in the Premier League has come under Ineos. And now we're at a level where we're saying 6, okay, we'll just about take that because it is an improvement, yes. But I'm showing you categorically how the standards have dropped at the club. And that's my problem.
And they've rightly dropped. They've rightly. If
they've been
you as a
eroded.
fan have lower standards now, you are a rational human being. If you don't have lower standards,
Yeah. No, but what's your aim? The difference here is what's your aim.
why
and
should
how
your
quickly...
standards be lower? Because when we finished 7th under David Moyes, we were by far the highest revenue club in the league. The league was basically 3 teams, and the rest was trash. I'm telling you, this is the strongest Premier League ever. The TV money deal means that everyone can buy the best players from all of Europe. You literally have a Super League now, right? So you can go and buy whoever you want. All the top teams, for example, Crystal Palace can buy a semi-decent player, and they were nobody when David Moyes was undershot.
That's a fair point.
That
That's
is
a fair
why
point.
it's and why should your standards be low? Because Ineos,
We
yes,
still have a
might
competitive
have made
advantage though
mistakes.
with the revenue.
But the Glazers have absolutely destroyed us since their takeover.
Which we all agree on.
At the point of 2012, 13, 14, under Moyes, you're bad, but you're still...
Okay.
The bleeding has had 10 more years of bleeding.
Let me tell you
your interest costs, we've spent another 600 million on more interest, on more debt, on more failed transfers, on more bad contracts.
That wraps
Transfers
nicely.
you supported.
Let's leave it there. That wraps nicely into my... If I had one New Year's...
Can I just make one point? Brian Mbumo is 65 million plus 6 million or 7 million add-ons. So is that
Right, so
Ash,
70 odd, right? As
you
the
were talking
point being
euros,
is,
right, Ash? You were talking euros, right?
Hang on, let me finish.
I
Hang
was
on.
saying US dollars.
You
or something, I don't
said
know.
you said no more than whatever the number was, and we went well above that number. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. It wasn't like it was like some smart transfer. That's all I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying is the profile of we overspent, but every single
It's not genius profiling. Buying someone who's really good at a mid-table club, like, and who can,
But that is exactly
excel.
what Fergie did, and I think that's where we.
Yeah, but it's not
fell short.
revolutionary from Ineos.
It is for us from going where we were before.
No, it's not, because Glazers have
Premier
done
League
that as
proven.
well. Glazers have done that. Like, I'm
It's a
not
slight
backing the
improvement.
Glazers, right?
It's
but
a slight improvement. That's
so
all
would
it
you
is.
say? So you're saying Steve net positive then?
Slight improvement. Yeah,
There you
but then
go.
it comes back.
Yeah.
Comes back to
Positive.
ambition. Comes back to ambition. That's the difference as well.
But
We all know.
the ambition is to win the league.
Yeah,
in
Project
5
2028.
years.
My ass. Anyway, New Year's resolution, right?
the ambition is to win the league, even though it's the most competitive league. Okay.
Yeah, 2020
100%,
project.
100%.
They've got a project
Okay,
for
that's
it.
good.
So
We
as
wa-
long
we
as you're
want to
not
win
thinking
the.
we're Leicester, like normally you talk.
No, we have to. We should be the biggest club in the country with the biggest stadium and the best training ground, and we should be the champions of the Premier League and competing for the Champions League. That is the ambition of Ineos as well, but it's not going to happen straight away.
yeah, okay, fine.
No one said
So
it will
if-
happen straight away, especially the state of the club has been for the last.
It's
few
2026. It's 2026. If we could all have one New Year's resolution for the club, I'll go first. Mine is for some type of ownership, new ownership to like arise, like the early talk of it, because I don't think we're ever going to get back to the top under the current model of Ineos times Glazers. That's mine. Ash, what's yours?
Just to be different, new manager.
Yep, fair enough. And are you happy to wait until the summer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've been like that throughout the season, right? Because I know it's not going to happen. It's unrealistic to change now anyway, like what you're going to achieve. The time to have done it was, after the Europa final, like if you were going to do it. But I'm happy to wait for the summer now and then just pick the best one.
Would you take Marco Silva?
Over Ruben, absolutely. Like Fulham are like, what, 4 points behind us with a terrible squad compared to ours. So yeah, I'd definitely
looking
take him.
forward to you talking about the attacking football that we're not playing.
I don't
next
care.
season
At
with
least-
Marco Silva.
At least they'll be like 4th or 5th and like we can beat like the shit teams well. So
You had to get Marco Silva
no,
reference.
I
into
didn't
this
bring
pod,
it up.
didn't you?
He brought it up.
Go on. What's your one New Year's
So
resolution? I'm guessing it's not Marco Silva.
No, I agree with one and two.
I'd rather have an ownership like investment, but
Yeah.
you pick that up.
No, I agree with one and two. I think those would work for me as well. So if I'm going to pick a third just to be different, I would love a concrete announcement on the new stadium that it's got the green light, that we have the land or whatever it's required from the freight company.
Andy Burnham does his, whatever he
yeah.
needs to do.
Are we able to get that now?
I don't
No,
know.
no.
No,
That's
so
his
They're
wish.
asking a
that was-
ridiculous price, aren't they?
Yeah, so that
You
we
want
get
Andy
the,
Burnham to sort it out for you,
the
basically.
forced
Come on, Andy.
purchase. I would love that because I'm my when you say the expectations, my expectations for the next 6 months, my expectations for 5 years time are super high, and I would love a brand new stadium or a big redevelopment of Old Trafford. Either one of those. Ineos have delivered the new training ground and they delivered it quickly and it looks really nice, but I'd love a work or some commitment that we're going to finalize thing on the stadium. That would be amazing.
I think that's 3 good ones, to be fair. It's clearly why we should be in charge of the club and not these current jokers.
Just need to find the money.
Just to end, I know
And
2025.
the other one would be, I'd love a central midfielder in the summer.
Yeah, and to stop conceding goals.
Just very quickly on that, like we're talking about Ineos and I didn't really get a say. That's the thing that annoys me. It's like all the talk for the summer is like, oh, we need a number 6. We needed a number 6 months ago. It always just feels like we're chasing our own tail and we're 6 months behind where we should be.
To be fair, you gave in on the Ineos defence quite early during this podcast. That's why I didn't bother asking you. I wanted to see if Uz had changed his opinion, and he's going off the data and he's comparing against
Steve just
the shit
comes
show
to
last
me.
time.
I
Steve
can
comes to
say
me because
that.
I talk crap, and the
I
viewers
could
probably
say,
think I'm an
like,
idiot.
net positive, but like the thing is,
But this is the thing. Technically, Uz is correct because it was
that's
so
what I mean.
bad under the.
Technically, I could have said something similar, but like the thing is, like you guys all said it, right? You, Ron, and Jay, you were like, you gave examples of like what they did with the Swiss team and at Nice, and it's actually bared out. Similar stuff that happened at those 2 clubs has happened to us. Like we went to utter disaster last season, and now there's a little bit of stabilising. It's not good enough,
Yeah,
but
that's it.
it's okay because at least the club's not being embarrassed like 12 months ago. So it's kind of like micro steps.
Yeah,
So net
okay.
positive.
So to wrap up, right, obviously 2025 on paper has been the worst ever year in terms of Premier League finished in our lifetime. We have to acknowledge that. I don't want to do worst three moments because there's too many, but let's just finish on our best moments of 2025 because as we were speaking about at the start of this pod, it still deliver those crack moments. So we've had a few in 2025. So let's just cover our top three of the year. So us, Mr. Positive, you must have loads to reel off. I'll let you go first.
It's actually, this is the thing. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. As much as it's been bad, there have been some great moments. You wouldn't swap it with Brighton or someone else, would you?
No.
And I'd have, when, for example, the Lyon game, when Cobby when Harry scored, that feeling, it's just incredible.
Out of body.
Incredible. And, the best of 2025 was definitely, for me, our trip to Bilbao. It was really
Despite the result, right? Despite the result, like the trip.
The trip itself was lovely. And that's why I want us to get back in Europe, because there's European nights that we had, even playing Bilbao in the semi.
Yeah.
Great performances in
I think we
those
booked
Europa
our
games.
flights like after the first leg, didn't we? I think.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was 2025, but Maguire nearly winning at Anfield, but then we actually did win. We beat Liverpool.
Yeah, with a
I think
Maguire
that was
winner.
January when he missed, and then
Was it? So
in the same year, in 2025, we've had that close thing where we nearly beat the champions, as it was. They would have been the champions, and then we've done them. So there have been good moments. There have been this just like, yes, most of it's, I can't remember the word you used. Was it stagnant or something like that, or just
plodding along? Yeah,
it's like, for me, it's not plodding. For me, it's a roller coaster. It's up and down. It's emotional.
It's a plod. You're right, Steve.
No, for me,
if you're comparing roller coaster to plod,
okay, but you know
plodding.
what it is. Maybe there's that thing of you've lost the emotional connection. But for me, I was watching that Newcastle
I love
game,
this
and
club
I was
more than you can
that
imagine.
Newcastle game, I was kicking every ball, heading every ball that Aiden Heaven was heading out. It was like it were backs against
anyone
the wall
describing Ruben Amorim's tenure at United as roller coaster, like as if it's like hardcore drugs or something, and then a come down. Absolutely not. Ollie's time was more of a roller coaster.
Well, if you give me a last minute winner at Ellen Road on Sunday, and I'm
then you might change your mind.
I'll take that.
There have been just some
craziness. But as sticking the ball to Harry Maguire is not roller coaster, right? Because the roller coaster moments only happen when we do that under Ruben.
Yeah, but that's the good bit, right? There have been these things. At the end of the day, I don't care how the ball goes in the net. And I actually love it more when Maguire scores. For me, it's brilliant. I love it. I love you, Harry. You're like a top player. And when you score a 90th minute header, I think it's... And when Harry Maguire does a knee slide, it's the highlight of my week.
It's the best slide of the year.
It's beautiful.
Definitely.
It's absolutely wonderful. And I wouldn't swap it.
But just remember, Eric Ten Hag, he was doing that and you hated it. So that's what I'm saying. Just remember what you said.
No, I didn't hate it. When we win football matches, under Ten Hag, if we win a football match, then I still love it. It's just that it was just not enough of those moments. But I love the FA Cup final under Ten Hag. We had a great day. It was sunny. It was beautiful. We beat Man City. So it is a roller coaster in this club.
That's what you're in it for.
We have had highs.
What about you, Steve?
We have had highs.
I mean, I think us has covered the best three, to be fair. Like, Europa
Any
League final,
random
the trip.
ones?
Not really, to be fair. Those are the three that stand out. I might be forgetting. But like, just looking at those three moments, like the European final, you can never take them for granted, especially like these days. A win at Anfield is the best thing as a United fan you could ever have, really. And, Liverpool haven't been as good as they've been this season. And then, of course, a famous European night at Old Trafford, which will go down in history. Like, as a top three, mostly bad year, it's pretty good as a top three. I don't know if you've got anything, Ash, to throw in before we wrap up.
Tricky. Nothing's going to beat the ones that Az mentioned. Nice
so
one.
We'll take that. I said we'll take that, but what are you going to throw in?
No, nice one at the beginning of the season was the win against Chelsea, because actually we played some like decent football. We made them get the red card, and like again, the result should have actually been better in terms of like we should have scored more goals. But yeah, that's not going to top what Az has mentioned.
Yeah, it's the moments, isn't it? Like you still have
The
moments.
Chelsea win is another example of the fight, because I was in Manchester that day and it was biblical. The rain was, I could have barely see. I was driving and windscreen wipers on full blast and I couldn't see a thing. And I was genuinely worried that they'd call the game off in the second half. That's how bad the rain was. So the ball's
Yeah.
like, and this is what I mean. There's still the team doesn't have the quality, but they
Yeah.
just dug something out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
And it delivers moments, right? And that's in the matches, that's what you live for. But I think you can have two views of like, living with the highs and lows of each game week to week, but then also having the bigger picture view of where the club is heading. And I think that's what we try and
Steve,
do.
one good one just to piss off AJ when we beat Arsenal in the penalty shootout.
FA Cup, yeah.
When
in January.
David Raya decided not to dive for any of the penalties.
That's a good one.
No, he
Yeah.
did dive.
You, AJ.
He just dived the wrong way far too early, and it's just bizarre.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we'll wrap it up there. We've got a new year ahead of us. So let's see what it brings. Let's see what Ellen Road brings on Sunday. I'm looking forward to it, even as much as I talked about how disillusioned I feel, because it's,
Out of interest, because I've been following the WhatsApp, how does Jay feel about Dominic Calvert-Lewin's form this season? Because he hates him.
I've not seen anything on that. But
Should ask him.
Yeah, there's a lot of opinions we need to get.
If he scores against us, he's going to be furious.
Has he got like
Gosh,
scored in 6 games in the last 6 games? Is that?
Something crazy. I keep seeing the scores and like, oh, Calvert-Lewin scored again. I
No.
even saw some talk around Calvert-Lewin beating Watkins to the England squad maybe in the summer, which would be absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Problem with him is the fitness record.
Yeah, he'll get injured. Yeah, 100%.
Well, the tricky thing here, right, is we've got quite a few games. We've got Leeds away, Burnley away midweek, and then we've got the FA Cup Brighton game at Old Trafford. And then after that, a couple of tough fixtures. Manchester Derby, 17th of Jan, and then Arsenal away the following week at the Emirates.
Do we have AFCON players back? Do we know?
I think, is it going to be possibly for the
After
Derby?
City? If they reach the final.
If they get to the final, then it will be after City.
So, yeah, let's hope Ruben can deliver in the big games like he has done sometimes and give us some more moments, because that's what we're living off at the moment.
Out of curiosity, guys, all these players, Mainu, Fernandes, Mount, De Ligt, Maguire, do we know when they're coming back?
I think Mainu didn't sound serious. Obviously, people are suspicious in general, but
No,
it
it's
didn't
a
sound.
calf injury.
Yeah, so I think it could be like in the next few weeks you see some of these guys start to come back. None of them seem proper long term. So
They're not long term, but they're lingering because De Ligt has been out for probably close to a month when it started off as like some niggle / minor injury, but that's the problem.
He was one of our best players.
Yeah, he's
been a massive loss. But
I think there was some index rater saying like he was the best defender in the league.
Yes, this is what I mean. Like, but Heavens started dodgily, but his last 2 games, I think he's done really well. Especially
for a
Newcastle.
19-year-old, he's doing superb because he's not just leading that back line. He's been switched into a back 3 and then into a back 2. Like that's fantastic. Like
and
that's one for
Leacher
the
back,
future.
I think's big news. I think his passing has really helped the team a little bit. So I think
we need some good bodies. We need some good loans.
Those names I've just reeled off, especially Bruno. Bruno's the massive one.
Yeah.
And also, I want to get Carl, the physio, on, Steve, because I want to discuss how Bruno's first major injury comes under Ruben in a season where we play 1 game a week. That needs to be discussed.
There's the call out for Carl. We're going to have a lot of interesting guests coming up as well. We're working on the schedule, so there's some surprises. So there's a lot to talk about. There will be a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about this year, Steve.
Yeah, there's some big fixtures in January, let alone the rest of the season and into next year. So yeah, let's wish everyone a happy 2026. Apart from Liverpool fans, of course, let's hope it's miserable for them and they drop out.
Anyone seen
5.
Cabs for about 3 months?
Yeah, disappeared, didn't it? So
need to find him and get him on again.
Thanks for joining us on this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.